Les Sawyer, head river keeper on the water we'd been invited to fish, just had time to show us to our beats, and then he had to dash off to hospital to see his wife, who just presented him with a baby. Dr. Rameau fishing with his famous automatic fly reel, no ratchet there, no handle, and fishing the dry fly, floating his artificial down over the Grayling lies. And a nice contrast in casting style farther upstream where Canon Finch has already commenced operations. The Canon is usually accompanied on a fishing expedition by his little dachshund Pippa, and she can never resist trying to catch the water voles that abound on this part of the Avon. Never seems to have very much success, but obviously enjoys trying. Well, Dr. Jones couldn't join us until after his morning surgery, and we were planning to fish on until about 12:30 and then join him for a picnic lunch. And I very much hoped that Dr. Rameau might open his account with a grayling before it came time to leave the river. Unfortunately, there weren't many flies about, and the start was rather slow. After a bit, however, the first duns began to come down on the water, and Rameau got a take far across under the trees and opened his account with his first grayling in this autumn season. He himself normally goes down to the Jura in the south of France to fish for grayling at this time. They rate grayling very highly in France. Rameau was accordingly very pleased to come in to lunch with a fish already in the bag, so to speak. Well, he hadn't seen Dr. Jones since Rameau was over here in May last year, and they are old friends, often have a day out together when Rameau stays with me in England. Canon is a great drinker of hot soup on these picnic occasions, and Dr. Jones had brought along some of his traditional homemade wine, a brew he makes, I'm told, from black currants, and very good it is. Even Rameau, who's something of a connoisseur in these matters, thoroughly approves of Dr. Jones's vintages, and Canon Finch too has a very good eye for it. And after lunch, Rameau presented me with a box of the most exquisitely dressed artificial flies that I think I've ever seen. Even the veins in the wings were most faithfully represented, dressed specially, I was told, by Dr. Jouge in France. Well, all I could offer Rameau in return was the entire contents of my own modest fly box, to wit, one bare hook with a bit of wire on it to make it sink. That's what I'm using to catch my grayling with at this time of the year. Very effective it can be, and Rameau adds it to his 250 other nymph patterns. Well, after lunch, we were all able to go back to the fishing except for Canon Finch. He had to return to the church at Netheravon, where Jennifer Kent and Giles Sims were to be married in the middle of the afternoon, and the Canon, we hoped, would be able to rejoin us later on. Rameau, a veritable latter-day Clemenceau, sets about the grayling for all the world like a tiger as he stalks, and if a grayling takes him, he doesn't stand very much chance of getting away. Rameau never uses a net, always catches the fish up with his hand. And farther up the river now, Dr. Jones gets off the mark. The doctor, in fact, went on to catch the best bag of the day, although he had a rather late start. Rameau caught the most fish on the dry fly. And now, at Netheravon, the wedding proceedings are just coming to an end, all except for the confetti throwing and so on. And the Canon congratulates Giles and Jennifer Sims. Pause now for the photograph to be taken. And the Canon, no doubt, will shortly be turning his mind once more to the grayling in the river. And the little dog Pippa anxious for him to come back and make a start, and for her to get back to the water voles. Lovely old church, Netheravon. A very colourful place it is just now, with the leaves all turning. The doctor, as I said, went on to make the best basket of the day, but Rameau acquitted himself very well too, and Canon Finch, when he returned to the river, went on to catch the heaviest grayling of the afternoon. So we all had something to feel very pleased about, and that's how it should be during a grayling festival. Ted Channell, the cameraman, joined me at the close of the afternoon when I myself knocked off 4 grayling in my last 5 casts, and Ted was there to record the last 2. The last one of all, he managed to film in reflection as the grayling took.